Is dit jou naam weer? Arnold. Okay.
Good evening to all that joins us this evening as we are counting down towards the start of the 10,000 sit-ups fundraiser for CERT-SA Centurion. The Community Emergency Response Team, in short CERT, is a non-profit organization rooted in the community of Centurion and the Vaal, dedicated to providing crucial emergency services. Their mission includes emergency medical assistance, firefighting and rescue operations, working alongside existing emergency services to enhance their efforts. Today we have the privilege to talk to Ruan Heyns, the CEO of CERT-SA. Ruan, welcome to this.
Good morning, Arnold. How are you?
Very well yourself. Yes, 10,000 sit-ups.
Yeah.
What is your take on that?
Well, rather him than me, I must say. But yeah, Jan has been preparing for this for a few weeks or actually months. So you know, it's a great initiative, I think. And you know, he's a volunteer with us as well. So I really appreciate his effort and his muscle power that he's going to put into raising some funds for CERT to keep our operations up and running. But yeah, I think he's going to do it, and I'm looking forward to it.
Wonderful, and let's talk about what is CERT and why was it founded? When did CERT start, and what need in the community were you responding to at the time?
Okay, well, I've been in the emergency services for a little over 22 years now, and mainly working in the private sector. And over the years, I identified a lack or a void within the community where you know, you have a private sector and a government sector. And you know, some people don't have medical aid, other people have medical aid, and then over the years, gradually, you know, I've noticed that there's this gap where the emergency services from the state side are sometimes overwhelmed with the call volumes they have to deal with, and they're not always able to provide a fast response. You know, and then if someone doesn't have a medical aid or don't have any means to pay for the service, then the private services are also not able to assist. And then there's this gap where people, you know, sometimes wait hours for an ambulance to arrive, and people die because of that. So I started CERT 12 years ago to try and fill that gap. So we have primary response vehicles, medical qualified people that's working on the vehicles, and that responds up to that initial call, does the necessary stabilization, and then obviously expedites the state or private ambulance depending on the situation. Yeah.
Mm. And what is the range of emergency services that CERT provides nowadays?
Okay, so we have 6 divisions, of which one is a training division, which we basically do first aid, you know, first aid, basic firefighting, or you know, basic training in the emergency preparedness setting. And then we have our medical division, which is our main division, providing free medical emergency response to the community in their time of need. We also do fire and rescue support operations. Not really have firefighting capabilities ourselves, but we you know, respond to scenes, assist fire department if they're already on scene with additional manpower, you know, crowd control, you know, scene management, things like that. And then search and rescue operations like we did yesterday, where we were searching for the 2 people that went missing in the river, and we form part of that you know, multidisciplinary team to try and make this kind of operation a success. And we do trauma counselling, so we have a few chaplains and trauma counsellors that are part of CERT that provides emergency counselling or counselling on the emergency scenes, you know, after a traumatic event and things like that. All our services that we provide for humans, we also provide for animals. Animals in distress, stuck in pipes, stuck in trees, you know, or you know, injured during a house fire or in an accident. we take it one step further and say we're not just going to take care of the people, but we're also going to make sure that the animals get the necessary care they deserve. So we work closely with the SPCA and other local vets to assist animals in distress.
I think that's a very interesting topic that not many people know about. So thank you for that. I see in the background they are nearly ready. They're about 5 minutes out to start. They've been doing their warming up exercises.
Ready to start sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when he told me they're going to warm up for about 20 minutes before the time, I was very curious to see what type of warm up exercises do you do if you're going to spend your time doing 10,000 sit-ups.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And so I was jokingly telling one of my friends today that we're doing this live streaming tonight, and that it's good to see people that really stand up for what they believe in. But it's the first time I found somebody that sits up for
Yeah, no, that's true.
something
That's
that he
true.
believes in. So which areas do your teams currently serve?
So we have two bases of operation currently, which is based in Centurion, and we provide our services within the Centurion and Greater Centurion area, so up until about Hartepies Poort border, and then towards Monument Park, Midrand. That's our area that we cover. And then we have an operation in the Vaal area, which do Meyerton, Vereniging, Binnenbouw Park. And we used to have a operation in the Parys as well, where there's actually quite a big need. But due to financial constraints and manpower issues, we temporarily withdrew that operation, hoping to start it up again soon. So, yeah.
Okay. Now let's talk about the emergency access and the operations. If somebody needs help,
Yes.
how do they contact CERT in case of emergency?
Well, in case of emergency, they can contact our emergency number, which is 087 095 3556. So that number you can phone for any emergency. If we are not able to respond ourselves, we will expedite or send a service provider to assist in an emergency situation. And then for non-emergencies, for any inquiries, they can phone our landline number, which is 012 880 2252. And yeah, that's our contact details. Our website is www.cert-SA.org. And then in general inquiries, it's just info@cert-SA.org that they can send email to.
Okay, and do you work alongside SAPS, ambulances, and municipal emergency services?
Yeah, so our purpose is not to take anyone's role over as emergency services. We are there to support, as much as we support the community, we support local, private and governmental organizations in that we assist with manpower, scene management, and then also like for example, sometimes ambulance companies will phone us and say, listen, we need access to a house, someone is locked behind a gate, we can't get access, we go out and assist with forcible entry. So our response vehicles are a little bit more equipped than the normal medical response vehicle, in the sense that we've got additional equipment that we could do forcible entry, for example. Yeah.
Okay, and how critical are your vehicles and equipment that you have at your disposal in saving lives?
Well, if I look at our average response time, in the Centurion area, during the daytime is about 8 minutes, and at night it's about 5 minutes. So depending on the situation, we truly can get to the scene faster than most services can. Like I said, we're just there to fill the gap. So we go out to stabilize, wait for the ambulance to arrive, and then hand over, and they transport to the relevant hospitals.
Yeah, I'm sure you're aware that as we can watch in the background, I think they've started, so Ian is on his way there, starting with the sit-ups.
Yes.
And so yeah, all the best to him and to Sarl as well. And so we had a wonderful testimony that we're going to show tomorrow during some of our live streaming sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Of an incident that happened at the Spur last week, where a lady
Yes.
had a heart attack
Yeah.
in the Spur.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't want to spoil too much, but yes, we had an interview with the two ladies and with the manager on duty at the Spur
Yeah.
about how you guys handled that whole situation, so people can really look forward to seeing that testimony in one of tomorrow's live streams. So let's talk about fundraisers and sustainability. You're currently doing this 10,000 sit-ups for CERT challenge.
Yes.
Why was this fundraiser necessary?
Well, as you can imagine, running emergency services operation, costs quite a bit of money to do. So, in terms of fuel, resources, equipment, disposal equipment, and then we totally reliant on donations. We require funds to sustain our operations in the long term. So we have been blessed over the last 12 years, and we just keep on growing. So. Our aim is to open additional branches throughout the country as we go along. In 10 years, 20 years from now, I'd like to look back and say, well, we've got major operations in all the major cities and provinces.
Okay, and I know you named a few now, but what do donations actually go towards that some of the public not necessarily would think about?
Well, as you can imagine, obviously we've got our equipment, which by the way is quite expensive. So, for example, ECG or a heart monitor, if you had to buy it new, it would cost you anything from 250,000 and more, and that's for one vehicle. So, each vehicle needs one, so we're already talking about quite a bit of money there. But besides the medical equipment and the disposal equipment that we use, we also did additional things like, chains for our chainsaws, files, to maintain those equipment. All the equipment needs to be serviced every 6 months, and they need to be certified and calibrated. So that is a constant expense. Obviously, you can imagine telephonic expenses, radio expenses. We've got digital radios that we're using, and everything is airtime, and everything is costs money. And then obviously uniforms, support for our personnel out in the field. So sometimes we need to get some refreshments like water and things like that when they're on scenes, especially like the one next to the river. We're on the scene most of the day in the sun. And then just general support, like sometimes we get blankets that we help and give to patients that we don't necessarily get back. I think just mostly equipment, fuel, and your communication platforms that cost money at this stage. And then we try and obviously spend a lot of time upskilling our volunteers as well. So we do continuous training, first aid, basic firefighting. And not all our volunteers are paramedics or qualified firefighters. Some of them, like Ian and them, we've trained up to advanced first aid and do basic fire. And they basically form part of our operational support division, which basically just provides support to our current operations. So.
Okay. And how does public support help keep your emergency vehicle specifically operational?
Well, like this past year, we had a major mechanical failure on our Centurion vehicle, which was a 35,000 rands damage when the cam belt went. We were like, how are we going to get around this? And thankfully, we had some good support from Werkspec in Centurion, in Mainland, Werkspec Mainland, which jumped in and they fixed the vehicle for us at no cost, which you can imagine is quite a big thing to us. Yeah. And then tires, we got tires from Tire Mart Centurion as well this year. We're not too heavy on tires, but brakes we are. So, so there's a constant expense in terms of keeping the vehicles on the road. And sometimes it's brakes, it's tires, it's fuel, it's mechanical failures, and we had damages to our suspension. I think a month ago. So and everything costs money to fix the whole time. So, and then insurance cost is also quite high, as you can imagine. We're in a high risk environment, so and naturally the insurance premiums and excesses and that like that's quite hefty for the emergency sector.
Yes.
So yeah.
Okay, let's talk about public support and what are we calling them to action for? How can viewers watching right now or even later support CERT?
Well, there's many different ways to support the organisation. It's not always just financial. Like we have Time Out that didn't give us money per se, but giving us a set of tyres saves us a lot of money. But yeah, I think as a little donation, monthly donation or once-off donation, every little bit helps to keep the operation up and going. And then in terms of a corporate or more long-term partnership, we also work in that lines, where we take hands with corporate organisations that support us in the long run. In terms of vehicles and just making sure our operations are sustainable. We are further developing our training divisions so we can also generate some income from that. So we don't just rely on donations. As you can imagine, it's not always the best thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then apart from donating, how else can people get involved or assist you guys?
Well, currently we're not taking in volunteers at the moment because we're still upskilling our last intake, and it takes time and money to do that. But yeah, people can get involved. We have a need in the sector of our call center of dispatch center. Currently we have a virtual dispatch. In other words, people at home and they've got access to our software that we use to log incidents and recorded lines and things like that. And then they man the emergency line after hours and during office hours. So that's one area where we're currently looking for people to assist, so we can ensure that our emergency line is always up and running and effective.
Well, I must say, from all the feedback that I've heard about, it's one of the biggest compliments that you guys get is the action time when somebody calls. Nobody waits for the phone to be answered.
And that's part of the problem in the broader picture is that sometimes people they don't know what number to phone. You're not always 100% sure. Do you phone 112? Do you phone 291? Do you phone what number do you phone? And there's so many different private services that people in the heat of the moment during an emergency, they don't know what number to phone. They forget what number to phone, and then they phone a national number, and they sometimes struggle to get through, and that's the reality, unfortunately. And that's where we try and fill the gap and say, well, we answer our lines as quick as possible and expedite. And sometimes we don't have the resources available, and we then phone on their behalf, the correct people on their behalf, and then make sure that we get a reference number and send out the services as soon as possible.
Okay, and if viewers want to learn more, is there somewhere they can go to learn more about SAP? Because that's the other thing. There's although there are a lot of people that are aware of what you are doing and very grateful for that, there's still a huge part of the community that when you mention it, they hear about it for the first time.
Yes.
So where can people go to get more information?
Well, I think we recently redid our website, so our website is quite extensive in terms of information and inquiries and things like that. So www.cert-SA.org, you should find most of the information about what you would want to find out about CERT. But yeah, we are planning on upping our marketing campaigns and fundraisers in the new year. So we encourage people to partake and come join our fundraisers. And whenever we are in a social space like at a market or something like that, we'll always invite people to come visit us and come chat to the crew and get a bit more information about what we do.
Wonderful. And then at We Are Centurion, we are also privileged to have your number on our homepage, where the people can also access that if they forget where to
Yes.
to get the number.
Yeah.
And finally, what message would you like to leave with the community today?
Well, I think a lot of people know it, but people tend to forget it. Is that everyone is stronger together. Each and every single one of us play a role in our community, whether it be in an emergency response setting or just knowing of something or reporting an incident, providing the correct information so the group can respond quickly. Every little bit helps. So stronger together at the end of the day. So whether it be through donations, supporting an organisation, whether it be being part of a community group in your local area, to get to the correct people at the right time, and collectively work together to support our community.
Yeah, I think people, you have a lot of people that are very talkative about a lot of things, which is most of the time they find it easy about negative things. That's everything that's going wrong in the country. To talk about that. So I just feel if we can get people to just change that behavior and really try and find something positive to gossip about and to talk about, and encourage one another in that way. And that's why at We Are Centurion also our slogan is making differences differently.
Yes.
And it's a decision you need to make, to change your way of thinking.
The mindset, yes.
And you really need to challenge people out there to say, no man, yes, I know you, but let's talk about something
yes,
better.
yes.
Let's talk about CERT and what they are doing.
It's like I always said, I try and be part of the solution, not the problem.
Yes.
People are see on our social media sometimes as well, people get on there and they want to have something negative to say. And I think to myself, but rather share the information. Share, for example, when it's flood season and there's floods going on, instead of criticizing and saying this person shouldn't have done this person should have done that, say, listen, if I see a post going out from the city council they also send out warnings, so if they send out a warning, share it as wide as possible so people know, be part of the solution, because the more people know, because people think, but why do we want to cross a river? Don't you think you're going to go down the river? But some people just don't know. They don't understand the forces of water, so they don't know. And unfortunately, it's not like they're being dumb or ignorant. It's just they just don't know. So if you don't know something, but sharing information, getting into the right ears and eyes, can help save a life.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for talking to us. And
thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, it's wonderful to have you here in person. And I don't know if you are done with your shift or you're continuing still to work through the night.
Let's just say it's a never-ending story.
But thank you for what you are doing in the community. And tomorrow we are going to be back around about anything between 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then we'll have a couple of more interviews with people that work closely together with you, like people from the Community Policing Forum and other groups in the community. And we really hope that the right people gets this message, and that we will sooner than later see much more CERT vehicles patrolling out.
There's a lot of good things in the pipeline.
No, wonderful. Thank you so much for that. And and all the best to Ian and Sarah with what you guys are doing. And we hope that you guys can really get to that mark of 10,000 and 2,000 each. And I see the sweat is already going there. And we're gonna say goodbye for tonight, and Merry Christmas, by the way.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you too. Thanks, man.
And then we'll be back with our next live streaming session tomorrow morning.
100%.
Make sure to tune in. Make sure to share this, not only this live streaming, but to share the message, and to also make sure to join us during our live streaming sessions tomorrow morning. We should be around about 8 o'clock there. We should be back, and then have a couple of live streamings tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, and also then when they get close to the 10,000 mark tomorrow evening, we hope to be also here and to share that with you. So thank you once again.
Thank you.
And we'll see you then.
All right.